Imagine a city full of loneliness, empty spaces, abandoned places, lack of nature, poor air quality, a disengagement of community and life. Imagine instead a city where there is a sense of engagement, of life, of nature, of music, of art, of innovation, of people of all ages lingering, talking, laughing, eating, drinking, enjoying the space, having a sense that they can contribute with meaning and purpose to their city. How do we create such places in our cities? We do that by creating an irresistible narrative about that place and its ability to contribute to all the stakeholders of that place, creating meaningful relationships between the stakeholders and that place. We create that narrative by understanding what thriving looks like here. What does it look like to be thriving and healthy and resilient? What does it look like if the ecological, social, and economic systems are continually nourished? Regenerative development is a process through which we can create this narrative. It is a process that helps us to understand the unique social, cultural, and ecological opportunities and constraints of a place. In essence, it's a process for cultivating the capacity and capability in people, communities, and the natural systems to renew, sustain, and thrive. So what does this look like? Because it's fine to create a narrative, but how do you know it will really work? Life is much more complex than a simplification of a nice story. We see placemaking as the acupuncture point where the narrative hits the ground with community in a specific geographic location. So what does that look like? Here is our city full of loneliness, disconnection, unemployment, crime. People in this middle block here decide to create a regenerative strategy, start imagining what a thriving city would look like. They decide to test it by creating a pop-up park. The pop-up park creates conversations, that conversations lead to a permanent pop-up park. The business district to the north is declining. The owner sees what is going on at the pop-up park and starts engaging with this narrative of thriving for this area. She works with her tenants and says, what do you need to thrive? What do you need to feel nourished within these spaces? They say they want more innovation, more hip things happening around them, more ability to connect, networking. So they create a speaker's corner with interesting curated activities. They invite a coffee cart and a local food cart to set up, and those people support the long-term unemployed. This starts informing the regenerative narrative and adapting it. How does it really work? Now a residential area to the south says, hey, we've got a laneway that's really underutilised at the moment. Let's create a living art gallery here and invite young people to create online and real artworks. Again, they're feeding back into that regenerative strategy, seeing what's going on, seeing what else they could work on, what other ideas could they co-create. The local school picks up on this narrative and adapts it to their curriculum. And they ask the kids to think about what issues they'd like to solve in their area. The kids say that they don't get enough fresh food, so they set up a pop-up vegetable garden and integrate this into the curriculum. They start thinking what to do next year. They involve a local nursery. Then a local industrial area with a car park that's hot and miserable in summer and cold and atrocious in winter. They think about how to make this a thriving space that's actually nourishing. They bring in a whole lot of pop-up plants and trees, and they've got a building that's spare, so they start using that as a fix-it and make a space, a things library. This engages with the elderly population that are really good at fixing things. And it also starts addressing a waste issue for the area. Then a medium density development just near the business district thinks about what they can do, and they've got a wonderful area between their buildings. They decide to set up a sculpture garden there, and together with the business district they fund a visiting artist. Soon a microbrewery and a bakery set up in the area as well. They set up an award scheme for the projects and for the artists. They come together annually to celebrate what they've done and to plan what to do in the future. They create an online presence. That online presence starts getting interest and other communities start wanting to come and visit, they set up an annual conference to share their lessons, to walk people through their communities, and to also get their ideas about what they could do. This online platform now is a way for them to share their ideas, to communicate together, to have discussions, and to engage with each other when they can't do it face to face. Suddenly, when there is a crisis, such a financial crisis, the community is able to gather together and collaborate on how to keep thriving under these changed conditions. Things change, but that doesn't mean that they can't continue to work and thrive and celebrate and eat and drink and laugh and do all of those things that our cities should enable us to do.